So covering the pool certainly would be more bliss than this. So I'm probably scraping more paint off the side of the pool, but that's okay because I know I'm going to need to paint it again anyway. But we've been busting up around the edge with a sledgehammer. And what's important to note here is that our main leak right here, that's where it has popped itself. And this, I mean, and look at that. That seems like it's pushing out this way compared to the tile is pushing out. So what we've got is probably the ground heaving and pushing pressure out this way, perhaps causing that. Does that mean that if I had the pool filled with ice, with water that pushed back, it would have been better? Maybe. But what we don't have is an expansion joint on this pool that was pretty surely here around 1960. It's 2025, so that's 65 years.
No, 85. Yes, that's right.
So it's an old pool, and I'm definitely going to need to do something here, but you know, pool guy said that an expansion joint would really be the thing to do. And this is only our 3rd or 4th year owning the pool. Now, this ice is pretty thick. The worry is that I'm going to get water on top of it. But I got a nice iceberg floating at this point, and you can see that you know, we've had cracks all along there. And you can see the cracks opening up, despite the fact that this year we kept the water down low and everything expanded. So had I covered the pool, I would have blamed it on my lack of attention to the pool. But the water never got up there. So we're having, ground heaving, probably because we don't have an expansion joint, or maybe there needs to be like a sand gravel area around the outside of the pool. But this whole, my pool guy didn't even bother to try and match the colors next to each other when, I got replacement tile to put back on there. And he's like, this isn't gonna last, so I'm not gonna worry about wasting my time. I think he charged me $500 to put my tile back on and patch it up so that we were able to swim in the pool again. But, it's an old pool. We really like it. One of the benefits is, and of keeping it open year round is, that's the center hallway there, and it's right centered on the pool. So, it really looks pretty when looking out the window at it. And that was one of the reasons I decided not to cover it this year, so we could continue to look at the pool. But in any case, I don't want to get rid of it, but I don't want to spend a fortune on it either. So, hey, this is just some of the nonsense of being a pool owner. I'm a very hands-on guy, and I kind of like doing stuff and learning about it. So that's me. But you can see that it looks like the cracks have gone all the way along there. Maybe that's heaving from the yard. And you're figuring out, making sure that when we do something, we do it right is what's most important for me. I could probably keep my costs down and paint this pool every year and patch it and paint it, darn near every year. Thinking about putting a sump pump in the yard over there, where I figure we're most likely to get groundwater, or we actually have a flooding problem over in the other area of the yard. So if I put a sump pump right here, I can have a drain go underground to the sump pump that would be right around there. It would double as a drain for our yard, and also be able to depress the water table for periods of time when I want to drain the pool and resurface it. Typically, that's a no-no. You DIY, do not do that, because a single person would never have the amount of time required in a single week to, essentially resurface their pool or paint it or whatever it is. So if you're going to drain your pool, you want to get a professional to assure that you don't pop out of the ground. You could also just drill holes, relief holes in the pool, so that if there is hydrostatic pressure coming in from the outside, it would just fill the pool with that water and you continue to pump it out. But another issue with the concept of painting the pool is finding a time when it's dry enough to do that. So generally it's a bad idea to paint a pool because the paint only lasts a couple of years, and you can see that I painted basically everything you could see around here this year, and we have plenty of areas where the paint is popping off already. And yeah, I didn't really prep it that well, I just pressure washed it, but for that year it looked wonderful to see how much better the top of the pool looked. But that top step is just an example. Sure, there's some snow on there, but you could see where's my finger, like right there, the whole edge of the step, it bubbled and popped off. So that's what pool paint does. And I didn't use the epoxy pool paint. Using the tests that you can do with xylene and acetone and methyl ethyl ketone, you can figure out what your paint is by trying to dissolve it in those different things. I did that and discovered that I have probably the one part middle of the road paint. The acrylic regular old paint will dissolve in acetone. Mine did not do that. But I did not need methyl ethyl ketone to do it. I think the xylene just did it just fine. The other thing I think I'll touch on in this video before I end it, not sure if you noticed that I have the heat tape going around the pool to try and make sure that the ice doesn't get too thick at the edges where it presses against the wall. It doesn't really matter if it's thick in the middle, as long as it can't press against the wall real hard. I don't know if it would ever happen, if the ice would ever get that thick at the wall, or if you'd ever have completely solid frozen up against the wall, but it did seem like we did have thick ice right up on the wall, which would push against it. But now I'm looking and thinking, I don't know if that's much of a problem, because I think maybe our problem was the heaving coming out. Now you can see that over here we've got this big ice area. I don't know if that, with that downspout over there that just dumps onto the brick patio, that certainly is no good. But the house previously had a downspout, two actually on the corner, but this addition was built. One of them certainly covers up a drain that's inside the addition foundation, but there should be one there at the corner, but you can see they've raised up this garden area, so whatever's in there is deeply buried, and I have not dug out far enough to get to the drain to try and route that back to the drain. The other option here is to rerun all the gutters to try and go out to the front of the house. That's kind of my plan, but you can see that meantime we got an issue there. That's going to, with all that moisture going into the ground every time, going right there, yeah, it's probably going to create some pressure over here. The other thing that's important to note is that that's probably inherently a weak area of the pool right here, because this is one area that could really freeze solid. This is the southern side of the pool, so the sun never comes over the house here. We get a little bit coming in that way, and that's why the deep end and this wall are easier to keep warm, and those were the areas that I broke up first before trying to do this wall and this wall, because this just doesn't get any sun. Not to mention it has less water than everything else, so it's going to freeze first. It's the shallow end also, that's the deep end, so that's the northern side that gets the sun from the south, so it's going to be less likely to freeze. So like I said, we've owned this house for over 3 years, and I'm still working on my plans for what to do with the backyard, trying to figure out, do I rip this all out as my pool guy said? I said I actually like the brick coping. I think I like the fact that it fits with the style and the patio. He had given me a rounded brick color. He said this is what we would do with coping if we redid this, because he recommends first redoing the coping and tile, and then after that, then resurfacing the pool. And he said that if I do like the brick, just leave it be, and just go ahead and continue patching it. That's certainly going to be the cheapest option, but here I am making a over 10-minute video already, and you can imagine how much time I think about stuff like that. Maybe we do just repair this corner here, but I'm thinking about really trying to design the entire backyard. And up here we've got a patio area, and I'm planning on putting an indoor kitchen inside the garage, an outdoor kitchen out here with I think an island of like a 3 foot by 8 foot piece of granite. I think it's actually maybe, I think it's 40 inches. What's that, like, so 3.5 feet by 8 feet. I got this big piece of granite that I want to put in here, an island, and that'll give me an opportunity to redo some of the gardening out here, but we'll probably just eliminate all of this here in the center. You can see that I just dropped that umbrella in there because we had it laying around, but you can see that it centers up on that window there. So we go up and down the stairs every day, all the time, and it's just nice to see the pretty pool there. I'm also looking, the kitchen is in that window right there, so I'm thinking about doing something different with the fence along here so we can see the pool from the kitchen, because again, it's the focal point of the backyard and it's pretty, so I do want to keep it. A lot of people are like, just fill it in, man. Do a nice garden there. Yeah, maybe that would be smart. I also like the iron gate. I think that this is kind of pretty here. That opens up, this one here on the corner. So the fence that I got is close to matching. It does have a more decorative top to it, but I got some fence that'll at least allow me to go around the corner there. Thinking about maybe putting the rest of it behind the garage, give me access back there, but also keep people away from the garage. Not sure it'll really help. This iron fence doesn't really keep people away from anything, but just thoughts about what I'm trying to do here. It'd be very cool to have a hot tub, like a hot tub that drains into the pool. We got this raised area. There's some stuff we could do. I could maybe do a waterfall. And this dragon thing, or griffin, I broke the nose off of it and had it sitting right there, but I think a squirrel must have run off with it or something like that. And but maybe like hot tub with a waterfall coming down here or something like that. I think that could be pretty cool. But those are all things that I want to have planned out before I do anything back here. I've also looked at enclosures. Enclosures seem to start at like $25,000, and they would be at that price like translucent. If you want a transparent cover to cover this pool that would be retractable, that would be like $40,000. At that point you're looking at, oh boy, that's a down payment on a house. So it's hard to justify that, but it would be very cool to do that. Another thing is I have a party tent that literally is big enough to put over top of this pool. You don't keep a party tent up year round, but it's it got me thinking. Put a party tent over the pool. A little cheesy, but that was one of the reasons we decided, let's go ahead and buy that. I think it's a 16 by 32 party tent, whereas the pool's 28 feet. So I guess the post would be like right on the edge there and right on the edge there, and I think it would fit. So that's another thing that we're thinking, is today the day to put the party tent up to block from the deep freeze that's coming? I'm definitely going to put the bubble cover back down to help protect the pool from the deep freeze that's coming this week, basically Monday through Wednesday. But anyway, yeah, we brought our trampoline over from the old house. The buyers didn't want it, so I said, you know what, let's just go ahead and put it there. Why not? Usually they kill the grass, but ironically it looks like the grass is holding up a little bit better underneath the trampoline right now. We also need to level out this patio. It's all broken up because of that tree, which also is breaking up the foundation of the addition. They built the addition in 1970 right up against the tree that was there. And, you know, I go back and forth on whether to chop that thing down or not. It does provide shade, which I'm realizing that in general, we just want the pool to be warmer. We can cool it off by taking the cover off and leaving the cover off. But I put the cover on to try and warm the pool to extend the season, because I want it to be warmer more of the time. You know, if the pool's 90 degrees, it's not bad. And it's not hard to keep the pool under 90 degrees in the middle of the summer by just simply not covering it at night. So, you know, lots and stuff is going on. You know, I still have to fix the windows up there. We got a brick wall on this side of the center hall and no brick wall on that side, so the house is going at the center hall pretty severely. It looks like I missed a spot of painting up there in the corner too when I painted, but we painted the roof and the shutters just got painted and put them back up on the last week or so. I still have tags on some of them from, you know, where they belong, but you know, this is kind of turned out to be our dream home, and trying to figure it out, because I don't think we're ever going to sell this thing. I think we're going to stay here forever. You know, even be able to use, I think I'm going to do a ramp up that side, so if we need disabled access, we could basically get in that way right there. Just trying to think ahead. And there's a bar in that room that it backs up to a bathroom that very easily could be turned into a shower. So, you know, this is the, you know, forever house. I like to do a gate in here. That was servants' quarters at one point in time. In addition to having rebuilt the chimney on the house, we had this one rebuilt here, and I'm gonna put some heat in there. I've got matching heaters for the house and for the garage. The boiler for the house, put a heat exchanger on it and be able to, you know, since the equipment's already in the garage there, be able to heat the pool if we chose to do that. It would probably be, you know, very as efficient as possible. Maybe not heat pump efficient, but you know, pretty efficient with natural gas. We do have, you know, I made sure that there's a natural gas line and a new water line in there, along with a 100 amp service. So, you know, over here, I would like to put dormers in so you can look out over the yard from the garage. So I want to put a bathroom upstairs and a kitchen downstairs, an outdoor kitchen out here, and try and figure out how to lay this out. I was thinking it would be cool to have a TV in there. You know, some people say do a pergola out here for that area. I don't know, but I think that, you know, this house is a worthwhile project and just got, you know, so much opportunity. I don't think there's any need to want to expand anything on the house itself. I do almost kind of wish that I had made a deck up there off the second floor when we put the copper roof on. Got a great deal from the old roofer on the copper, but I ended up painting the roof myself because he just wanted to charge me too much to slap some stucco on that chimney, and that was kind of where our relationship fell apart. Yeah, it's you know, keeping on with the projects. There's a lady on Facebook today that doesn't seem to want to contact me, but I'm currently working on trying to replace or restore the arched wood windows, and I think that having exterior storms for them would be ideal. So I'm working on the front arched window right now, but these arched windows right there I really want to put storms on them. They have screens on them, so they're not like terribly weathered, but I can't pop them out to refurbish them because we need to have windows in there. So it's either put some plywood in there or, I mean, the crazy thing, at 3 years of watching, some lady popped up 2 windows for $30. I'm like, I've already offered her $200 for them. And she just hasn't let me, says they're pending, somebody's gonna buy them. I've set up, that antenna was on the house, and it's providing us with our television right now. It's working well with the TiVo. All right, this is a long video, perhaps my longest ever, but talking about, honestly, probably my favorite project. You can see we need to fix this whole patio because of the tree. I figured make a ramp up here, fix the drainage. It's ongoing, man. Tons of projects keep us busy.